Hey guys, Leash here, hanging out just quickly in the office. It's public holiday today here in Geelong. Geelong Cup. Cracks me up that we actually get a holiday because some horses run around the field. And look, I'm all for public holidays, but I always reckon that this one's a bit hilarious. So I'm hanging out here. James is off doing a couple of things, and yeah, I just wanted to jump in and do this live, just on just a couple of things that I've been thinking about. Hey Meredith, great, I loved your live today, by the way. Just thinking about some of the experience that I've had in working with day spas, and kind of the thing that people often, the objection, I guess, that I hear from people when they're starting out their business. And it just got me thinking a bit about what I do, what I did back when I was very first starting out. Now, when I was studying, I remember it was my sister's 21st birthday and we got a house up in Daylesford. I'm looking through the newspaper and I just finished Cert 4 and I was going into diploma, and we opened up the paper and it was like a job was available at the Hepburn Springs Day Spa, which is pretty, well known around the traps. And so I'm like, got me thinking, maybe I wondered if I could apply for that. Now I live in Ocean Grove. It's about 2.5 hours on a pretty windy road, no major roads to get there. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. I think this would be a really good option for me. So I applied for the job and I went up for an interview and I got it. And I worked at the Hepburn Springs Day Spa for probably about 6 or 8 months. On Saturdays mainly, and so I would get up early. We'd normally start at usually would be must have been a 10 o'clock start, so I'd be up, not too early, but up there, drive up, start at 10, and we'd work through till about 8, and then I would drive home. The biggest thing that I think that working there taught me was learning how to do one treatment after another, because you'd be put in a dual room, and if you were on hour treatments, then you and the person next to you would be doing 60-minute massages, and you'd do however many of those worked out to be with a 15-minute break. You get a gap, like a break every time, every second, or it must have been every third one. I think we used to get a break, which was really cool, and then we would yeah, that was basically how it worked. And one of those hours would be your lunch break, and off you go again. Now, yeah, massive days, because it was the drive up and then it was the drive back, as well as putting in a kind of usually a 10-hour day. Now, not only did it teach me how to do one appointment after another to keep things on time, but I think it also built my strength. So I was pretty sensible. I'd read Save Your Hands, and that scared the bejesus out of me. It's a great book for anyone who needs it at the moment. And so the next day I would sleep in, rest, recover. I really didn't do a lot the day after. And it was great. I learned so much about it. And that kind of gave me the idea that I'm like, well, why am I traveling 2.5 hours? I wonder if there's a day spa closer. Because I was starting my own business out of the chiropractic clinic. And I'm like, this will be good. I could do something to supplement my income. So I did. I found somewhere local. I contacted them. I actually just called them and spoke to the manager. And she said, actually, yes, we are hiring. I really appreciate your tenacity, the fact that and your initiative, the fact that you've just called out of the blue. We are actually in the process of hiring. So I went in for an interview. I didn't do any of the body treatments up at Hepburn, but obviously that experience of working, treatments one after the other gave me a lot of, it was a great experience. It was exactly what they wanted to see. So I applied for the job, did the interview, got the job, and I actually worked there for about 3 years. Worked at the Surfcoast resort in Anglesea. It was still about a 45-minute drive. For some of that, I worked full-time, so 5 days a week, and it was 9 till 6. Saturdays, there would be 6 one-hour massages. Sundays, there'd be 6 one-hour massages, and I basically didn't have much weekends off in that time at all. And I would have Thursday, Friday off from the day spa, and I would work in my massage business. So pretty full on. And I remember one day getting to a point where I was pretty burnt out. You're like driving an hour and a half to work, massaging, treating, doing all the things, and then, working on my days off. My boss was like, when was your last day off? I was like, yeah, I can't remember. She's like, Leash, you need to do that more and book that in. So I ended up going part-time at that there. Now, what I really learned, a couple of things that I learned was, number one, because it was a day spa, I had to sell. I had to sell product. I had to know at least 3 ingredients and what they did for every product that we had on the shelf that I used in the body treatment. So I learned to do body wraps, was trained in all their product range as far as the body works, not facials, but body treatments. I learned that as passionate as I am and certainly was about the body and muscles, that they were just as passionate, the beauty therapists that work there were just as passionate about people's skin. And that, you know, products that I'd always thought were just expensive things that no one bought, actually they had really active ingredients, did amazing things, and these guys were really promoting it and really passionate and fully committed to amazing skin and being able to help people solve a lot of their skin challenges, as well as looking internal as well. So I learned a lot about selling and products. I also became a bit of a towel Nazi, because on Wednesdays we get our towel delivery for the weekends, and we would often have up to 300 towels to roll. So I would be rolling the towels on a Wednesday, and then I would have to look at them for the next sort of 4 or 5 days, and I wanted to make sure that they looked amazing. So, you know, you roll them up, that fold bit always went to the outside of the shelf, and the endy bit went to the back of the shelf, and they all looked amazing, and they were tight so you could stack them into the shelves really well, and it was great. I loved it. So amazing learnings from being there, learning how to work with other people alongside other modalities. It was, and also working with their booking system. We would take credit card details over the phone. We would need to charge people if they didn't come in, because that was our policy, which we said on the phone. Entering them into a software, you know, just a bunch of stuff that I'd never really done before. Then I was massaging one of the ladies that came and worked with us over summer, and she owned Vital Synergy in Mount Hotham. And I was talking to her one day, and I'm like, what's the chances of me getting a job with you over winter? Because obviously the day spa is really quiet because it's a coastal town, it's on literally on the Great Ocean Road. It was very quiet in winter, so I asked her for a job. And she said, sure, absolutely. So I ended up, we put things into place, and James, so this was in 2004, so it was before people had the kind of laptop lifestyle, and we moved up there. James took his desktop, and he was doing some, it was 3D modeling for a virtual reality company using open source software, which was really super cool. And so he was doing that while I was working at the day spa up there. Now, I guess what I learned at the day spa while I was there was a split shift. So there was a 9 till 3 or a 3 till 9 shift. Being employed up there, it was hard work. There was basically not a lot to do except massage and treat. If anyone came in because they'd been snowboarding, it was quads. If anyone came in because they'd been skiing, it was calves. And then you'd have other people going, well, my family is out skiing and I refused to because it's too hard. So it was basically, you know, you do some relaxation massage. Working alongside a team of people, but the coolest thing about being up there was that these people were from all over the world. So actually being able to be part of a big culture was amazing, and being part of a big it wasn't really a big organization, but part of a big extended network of people that were doing they were doing really cool stuff. And I think sometimes in our quest to get into our business and get really excited about it, especially when we're first starting out, we will often overlook opportunities because it's not what I wanted. I always knew I wanted to be a remedial massage therapist that treated complicated cases that ran a multidisciplinary clinic. And working at a day spa was not really part of that. Like, it wasn't really like, oh yeah, you know, day spas are amazing. I'm so passionate about it. Yes, that's what I want. It wasn't really. But I was able to learn so much from the experience that it actually, when you walked into our clinic, the big clinic that we had, it looked like a day spa and a chiropractic clinic merged together, because it was literally where I had come from. Things were beautiful, it smelt gorgeous, there was soft music playing, never Enya, no whales. But the place looked amazing. It was also really professional because there was that chiropractic standard that we had through there as well, based on my experience. You know, and I wonder sometimes if there are other ways that we could be building our business. You know, sometimes I'll speak to people who are like, look, I'm going to have to go get a job because I can't get any clients. And it's like, well, is it possible that perhaps you could get a part-time job that actually did something that supported you, that you could learn from, or go and work in a clinic? And, you know, it's funny because I know some people get really funny about being employed as therapists, but it's like, you know what? Go and do it. Be employed. Be an employee. Learn from them. Learn what you love. Learn what you don't love. And change it for what it is that you want. But use the learnings and the tools. If I didn't experience these 3 places, I would never have been able to grow the clinic in the way that I did. I'd never been able to build things up in the way that I did, because I had so much more experience and exposure to the way that other people did it, that it works super, super well. And I think if we are so one-eyed about how we're doing things, that sometimes we miss the possible learning opportunities. And it's so great to be able to learn and to get feedback and grow from different experiences. There were many things that I learned at those clinics that I would never have, or the day spa, that I never used in my own clinic, because I knew that it wasn't at all what I wanted, but it also has given me so much more experience that I wouldn't have had if I just had have stuck to remedial clinics. So if you're at the moment looking at building your massage business and you're still getting it off the ground, then absolutely go and find somewhere that's aligned to what you did. I also worked at a women's gym. Contour is one of those 30-minute gyms, and worked there for 3 years, just 1 day a week while I built my massage business. Just literally so that I had some security. I knew every week the money that was going to come in. I never needed it, but just in case I ever did, you know, it was always there. I had that bit of certainty. And sometimes I think we can be so one-eyed about the way that we're going to get there that we forget that there are other options and other ways to actually generate income. And sometimes we need to do that in order to be able to build our business. Have an absolutely epic day. Would love to know if any of you guys are working outside of your massage business in line with it, so that you can support it, you can grow it as you're growing. Would love to hear from you. You know, let us know, what is it that you are, what are you involved in? Where are you employed? Are you working in a day spa? Are you, you know, I've heard even some people looking at Uber as an option, or even different, apps that you can go and do massage if you're in a capital city. So that's worth looking at different ways to do it, but I'd love to hear from you. How have you actually gotten your business off the ground? Did you do lots of massage, or did you do something else outside of it as you built, and what did you learn from it? Would love to hear from you guys. Post your comments below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.